Hey, what's up? I'm the Cartoon-theorist YT. Amphibia Season 2 Part B trailer dropped a week ago and it looks amazing. I can't believe after 5 months of waiting it's finally returned. The first episode that came out was Night Driver's slash Return to Wartwood, so I will not be covering the shots from that episode. It all basically recaps everything in Season 2 so far. King Andres and Marcy finding the Calamity Box info book, and Marcy's conversation on how they need to find Sasha and possibly reach an understanding. And finally, speaking of the girl herself, Grime and Sasha's plan to overthrow King Andres and make Toad, maybe Grime, the leader of the Amphibian Empire. So, first off, we see the first temple, Marcy's temple. Marcy's temple is a test of the mind. We know Marcy's green gem is all about wit because it says so on King Andres' book, which displays a brain above the text. If you had previously seen my sleepover to end all sleepovers slash a day at the aquarium breakdown, you would know a while back fans of the show were able to decode the pages in King Andres' book. Surrounding everyone is plant life that was most likely mutated by the quote-unquote Mind Stone years ago. It has leaves or maybe mushroom tops that glow green and are shaped like a brain. Now, trees can make apples. What are apples known for? Worms living inside of them. On the outside of the temple shows newts reading books, combining worms and books, and what do you get? Bookworms. Bookworm is something you say to be offensive to nerds, and nerds have big brains, like the size of the brain made out of leaves. Boom! These trees also raise a bunch of questions about their abilities and possible side effects. For example, when Marcy takes a sample of these, which, come on, we know she will the fragment of this brain leaf regenerate and in losing 99% of itself, attached to Marcy, therefore activating the ability to predict the future, as infinite knowledge can lead to such things. Could that be why Marcy is so angry in this chessboard scene? We'll touch on that later. Another question is, if you consume such a thing, could it rebuild itself on your head and then possess you? Kind of like Venom, the symbiote that briefly attached itself to Peter Parker? Hopefully these questions will be answered. Going back to the surroundings, there are some glowing orange plant life. This could be the same life Marcy took a sample of when we were first introduced to her. The name of that plant is the essence of Harrow's Bane. I see they have holes in them. Perhaps this is where the smaller plant life is produced. Towards the top of it all, you'll notice a familiar face. It's the frog head we see at the end of the theme song and similar to the frog head that looks down on Anne in the title cards. Literally. This might be symbolic of when Anne revealed that she can sometimes feel lesser than Marcy due to Marcy being smarter than her. It further shows how much these temples, the three girls' powers, and more have been foreshadowed from the beginning. At the tippy top of it is a diamond with the amphibian emblem. The amphibian statues shooting water aren't actually newts. I searched up what type of lizard shoots water. My results were the green basilic lizard is also called a plumed or double-crested monkier, the Jesus Christ lizard. Okay, so I guess that's what they are. Perhaps that's one of Marcy's abilities. I've theorized that Anne, Marcy, and Sasha can bend different elements. I would say Marcy can bend earth, but if you want to be more specific, I think she would be able to bend nature and also communicate with it. We actually got foreshadowing for it again from the first time we met Marcy. By the way, Marcy's first appearance was the episode Marcy at the Gates. When Sprite is trying to convince Polly and Hop Hop that Marcy is evil, butterflies surround her. I know this isn't a Marcy at the Gates breakdown, but I need to say this. If you notice, the butterflies are a reddish pink. They surround Marcy. From the show's intro, Marcy is holding the Calamity Box. Zooming in, you'll notice she is indeed smiling. Perhaps this represents Sasha's selfishness, her aura slowly getting closer to Marcy. We later see Marcy inside of a green bubble. In the background it depicts a frog holding a cube. I have a hunch this is a Rubik's Cube, which could be what Marcy is holding in her hands. The planters and Anne are on what looks like a square cookie cutter that turns whenever Marcy moves the Rubik's Cube. Going back to the frog, shown are 4 newts worshipping this frog god. The 2 on the bottom are blue and yellow. It's hard to tell with the fact that this is all illuminated by green. In this part of the temple, the 3 screens light up with what I can only assume to be ancient amphibian rooms Marcy had previously spoken about. It actually says danger room, what to do, which means this could be the room with the most booby traps. In the room are 4 statues of frogs. The first 2 at the bottom have brains below their chins. Don't know what that's about. The 2 statues on the top seem to be praying. The floor tiles have the Calamity Box's gem colors. Noticeably, there's only 1 green tile. I think Anne, Marcy, Papa, Polly, and Sprig will have to jump onto that green tile, and then from that tile to the door. It would be the green tile because of the fact that's the color of Marcy's gem. Anne and Marcy would be able to do this because it's not that far of a jump, guys. I know they make it look that way, but it's not. In this shot, Sprig and the others come from behind trees in coats because there is snow all around them. Marcy is holding her green gem. Coming out of it is a light beam shining on a circular thing which is connected to an archway. I have a theory that the room that connects to the door will only appear when the gem wielder is ready. Going back to that archway, it's shown in King Andros' book as one of the 3 temples. This temple is located on the top of a mountain. The salamander at the top of it all is Valriana, who we met at the Bazaar. She sold artifacts and home treasure, which had similarities to the Calamity Box. Speaking of treasures, her necklace's time symbol now glows blue, whereas it previously had been red. As it turns out, she's going to be a very important character who will inform us about the Calamity Box and its powers. By the way, Valriana is holding up the box with her tail. All of us were questioning her when she said the line of,
"Get back here!"
Could it be, Leander? Could she be the one we've been searching for?
Take note that her staff is the thing to illuminate the temple. The staff sort of resembles a fish hook. You can catch fish underwater. Again, going back to the theory that I've proposed time and time again, Anne could be able to bend water and ice to her will. I theorize this temple will be a test of the heart, each part of it putting her through trials that will no doubt set her up in situations where her selfishness will try to shine through, but will always fail. The runes from the light have some familiar symbols. A crystal and a giant gem. Maybe if you push all 3 gems together, they fuse to one, which might have created the monster in the opening. Many have speculated this to be King Andros, but that's a video for another day. Valriana's staff is here. There are loads of stars, 3 big ones in 3 of the 5 rows, which could go back to the unmentioned prophecy. 3 stars burning bright come from beyond to expel the night. Should they fight or embrace the fall, their choice will determine all. I've covered this before, so make sure to check out all my videos. These 5 rows could represent the 5 of the worlds, with Amphibia smack dab in the middle. Mentioning salamanders, there are 2 buff salamanders that strike a pose pointing to the door with a giant anvil on top. Lava flows around everywhere, as we know this temple is located in a volcano. In the outro, we see these temples everywhere. A toad statue is sitting down behind the entrance. This toad statue has a scar on its mouth. I think it could be the toad we saw in the painting. Perhaps each statue represents a past amphibian species who guarded the Calamity Gems. This might be the group Valeriana is in, as we later see her pull out a drawing of 3 people in hoods. These could be people who have, in the past, drained the Calamity Box's gems. In doing so, they gain its powers to protect it. I and many others speculate this could be King Andres. He could be the blue gem. Hard to believe he would have the gem of heart. Sprig's mom, the red gem of strength. This toad, who I think could be the statue, smarts. In the later shot, Sasha pulls her sword out and lunges so hard it creates a small crater around her. This demonstrates her strength, like that time when she got smacked into a boulder, and instead of her bones cracking, the boulder cracks. The boulder cracks. In the next shot, there is a rock monster about to hit Sasha with its club. Interesting enough, it's wearing a tank top. I love how this show puts an extreme amount of effort into its character design for creatures that are nor people or amphibians. Lava flows all over its body, the same thing that makes its eyes glow. This guy is humongous and has her battle armor from the season 1 finale. It seems Anne is struggling to beat the rock monster. Then Anne's face turns to surprise, so perhaps this is when Sasha shows up. The monster screams to the top of its, lava lungs. It seems the creature has razor-sharp metal teeth. Anne and Sasha are sitting below it. Sasha has a symbol of what I can only assume to be an eye. They're mainly shown on Sasha's cape and her shoulder pad. The eye could represent how her, cough cough, cult sees the truth. Their symbols could represent how they see past King Andres' lies. Something like it is also seen in Hop Pop's dream in the episode Night Drivers / Return to Wartwood. Without going too much into it, Hop Pop starts off with a nightmare before his dream turns good. And through this nightmare, we see an owl creature with Sasha's symbol on it. Take note that the object above it seems to be a grave. In the Roundtable's theory, they talk about how it could be foreshadowing for Hop Pop's death. While that could be true, I just don't see that happening. Instead, I predict this is foreshadowing for Sasha's death. You see, in the end of season 1, Sasha was willing to die in order for Anne not to die. As Anne was holding Sasha at the edge, Sasha said that Anne didn't need her, proceeded to let go of Anne's hand, and fall to her death, but Gwen saved Sasha just in time before she hit the ground. Furthermore, Sasha genuinely dying at the end of season 2 would bring her character full circle. Except her death wouldn't be caused by a life or death situation, like it was in that episode, but something Sasha does by choice without the pressure of her conscience. In this outcome, she doesn't do it for one person, but the entire universe. I could see her using the gems to defeat the monster seen in the background of the intro. By using all 3 gems at once, it would be like Avengers Endgame when Iron Man snapped his fingers. All that energy would be just too much for her. We already know there's an episode called Toad to Redemption. Considering Sasha's new best friend is a toad, this is clearly talking about her, so we know Sasha won't be the antagonist for much longer. Now, this one I predict isn't a temple, but in fact King Andres' chessboard. Take notice that Anne and the Planter family are nowhere to be seen. In Marcy at the Gates, we see King Andres has a chessboard in his watchtower. Marcy, in another shot of the trailer, is really angry. She takes a chess piece and slams it to the ground. I think Marcy might learn of King Andres' alternative plans and feel like she has been used like a pawn. Hence, the piece she's holding. It would be that she overhears a conversation between King Andres and Lady Olivia that has to do with him using the Calamity Gems for his own personal gain. Andreas learns that she was there and locks Marcy away in a chess-themed dungeon. By the way, she says the words, I have to do everything myself. It could be that the pressure of being the smart one finally kicked in. When Anne and the Planter family go to check up on her, the king will tell them she went out to study in the forest. I see an alternative route where Marcy is doing an experiment, thinking she's done it right, but it explodes and the liquid gets all over her. Then, all of a sudden, she feels the world getting bigger and Marcy shrinks. So she'll try to find King Andres, but instead find his chessboard. As for why the defense on a mere chessboard, you ask? Because it's very important to the plan. King Andres set up that system just in case a fly gets in and messes up his chessboard. In another shot, Maddie soars through the air and throws one of her spells. This could be from an upcoming episode of Maddie and Marcy. Maddie's ex, Sprig, and his girlfriend, Ivy, are seen jumping from branch to branch. Ivy is carrying a bindle. This is clearly from the episode Ivy on the Run. Ivy is clearly talking about how free she feels. Now, some people have said that Sprig looks angry here, but he's not. I think Sprig is just concerned about Ivy, just like how I'm concerned with you all subscribing, so please, do that now. We later see Mayor Toadstool introducing himself to this purple newt who has two guards right in front of her. She has an amphibian emblem on her cheek. Everyone is wearing purple, perhaps to show their respect for her. Then all of a sudden, a mole pops out of the ground. I think this newt could be Newtopia's royal designer. Big would be here to assist Marcy in helping with the town, which will happen in the episode New Wartwood. The frogs obviously won't like the improvements Marcy will make. This is literally seen in Return to Wartwood. The sign above the entrance of Wartwood says, slow to accept, even slower to respect. This would also be why the frogs of Wartwood were so mean to Anne at the beginning of the show. Now covering all the shots we see from what I think to be the episode After the Rain. So, we see shadows of Polly and Sprig running through the garden. Important detail, the mushroom behind them glows blue, demonstrating how this is an episode about Anne and the Calamity Box. I think this is the point where everyone has learned the truth. Sprig and Polly might be running after Anne because in this next shot, we see Anne in the forest. She's carrying her backpack along with her. Perhaps after learning the truth, Anne ran away. In this scene, Anne turns around in a sad but shocked way. Now this could convey the wrong message to some people. I think Hop Pop catches up to Anne and tries to explain himself, but she doesn't turn around. So Hop Pop tells her that the real reason why he hid it was because his daughter, Sprig's mom, died using it. How would he know that, you ask? Well, one day he was cleaning Sprig's mom's room. He found a letter explaining everything about the Calamity Box and why she wouldn't be returning home. Through looking around more, Hop Pop also found a book dedicated to the Calamity Box and its powers. Anne would finally turn around, they'd hug, and then it'd flash forward to this next shot. The family surrounds the book with the information about the Calamity Box. We know it is that book because it has the red bookmark. They may not agree, but they've reached an understanding. With that, we end on It's Not Over, guys. We see Sasha with her hands up while Anne has her sword up and has new battle armor. Smoke comes from above. Sasha and Grimes' plan is finally in motion. General Yunnan beat up a bunch of toads and seems to be talking to someone, presumably Grime. How would they have broken in, you ask? Using Daryl's warhammer. This looks strong enough to break the wall. Now we can put things to a close. I will be talking about Anne, Sasha, and Marcia's origin very soon. And in order to see that, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell to get all my latest videos as soon as they come out. And yeah, signing out.